Welcome to this introductory video on Indian philosophy. Let me introduce myself. I am Abhishek and I have completed my post-graduation in physics, and currently I am pursuing PhD in theoretical physics on the topic of radiative transfer. I have long wanted to create a channel which explores the relationship between physics and Indian philosophy. Although I have to mention that these relations are at best very mildly correlated, nonetheless, I wanted to explore these relations as deeply as possible. Let me tell you why, or the motivation behind creating this channel. During my post-graduation days, quantum mechanics subjected itself as something mysterious and confusing at the same time. So I did a little bit of research on the founding fathers of quantum mechanics like Schrödinger, Niels Bohr, Heisenberg, etc. And what I found was that many of them were transformed by this mysteriousness of quantum mechanics. Especially Schrödinger, who wrote many books on philosophical aspects of quantum mechanics, seemed to be the most transformed pioneer of quantum mechanics. In his books, which deals with the philosophical aspects of quantum mechanics, Indian philosophies play a very major role, especially Advaita Vedanta, which is a non-dualistic Indian philosophy. Consequently, I also wanted to explore these relations for myself, and these series of videos on Indian philosophy is a result of that motivation to do so. Let us look at some of the quotes. This quote is from Schrödinger, and he says, "The unity and continuity of Vedanta is reflected in unity and continuity of wave mechanics." Wave mechanics is Schrödinger's picture of quantum mechanics, in which a particle in motion is surrounded by wavelength, and this wavelength is a superposition of many de Broglie waves. The interesting thing about this wavelength is that it is not measurable, and if you do measure it, the wavelength will collapse. This is very significant for our coming discussions. This is because many non-dualistic philosophies around the world, and also Indian philosophies, deal with the non-measurement aspect of existence, or rather non-physical aspect of our existence. This next quote is from Heisenberg, and he says, "After the conversations about Indian philosophy, some of the ideas of quantum mechanics that had seemed so crazy suddenly made much more sense." The next one is from Bohr, and so on it goes. Now I just want to lay an overview of what to expect in the coming videos. Firstly, I want to classify Indian philosophy based on dualistic and non-dualistic approaches. I am against classification of any philosophy based on theistic and non-theistic approaches, because I think it falls short in capturing the essence of these philosophies. Also, in my opinion, such classifications are insufficient, too simplistic, and not to mention they are often deceptive. Having said that, this classification, which is based on dualistic and non-dualistic approaches, also comes with its own difficulties and complexities. The constituents of this classification have many overlappings and interdependencies, which makes it hard to categorize them separately. But nonetheless, we have to start with some classification. So I'm going with the dualistic and non-dualistic classification of Indian philosophy. Secondly, I want to explore each constituent of the classification as deeply as possible, especially the non-dual ones, and provide any links, any correlations with theoretical physics, if at all they do exist. I have to mention that these correlations, these links, will not be mathematical in nature. If such mathematical correlations have been explored in the past, I will be providing links in the description below. That's all for this introductory video. In the next video, I will be moving on to some specific topics, like defining terms like dualism, non-dualism, what it means in physics, analogies in physics, and then I will proceed with the classification of Indian philosophy. Thank you. See you next time.